Tonight, we are opening the official case file on the woman the world now knows only as Phillies Karen. We will conduct a detailed, minute by minute forensic reconstruction of the incident that made her infamous. We will follow the digital breadcrumbs as the internet's army of self appointed detectives launched a global and often reckless investigation to unmask her, exposing both the terrifying power and the inherent dangers of modern crowdsourced justice. We will psychologically profile the key players, the suspect, the victim, and the central witness to understand their motives and the immense, unimaginable pressure they faced under the glare of the viral spotlight. And finally, we will examine the final verdict, a sentence handed down not by a court of law, but by the volatile, unforgiving, and absolute court of public opinion. This is a true crime story for a new and chaotic digital age. Our investigation begins at Lone Depot Park in Miami. The time is approximately 8:15 p.m. on a clear evening. The Philadelphia Phillies are at bat, and outfielder Harrison Bader connects with the pitch. The sound of the bat echoes through the stadium. It is a home run. The ball, a coveted piece of official MLB memorabilia, arcs high and deep into the left field stands, descending into a section of seats largely occupied by families. This is Point Zero, the scene of the crime. The ball, a Rawlings official league baseball valued at approximately $20, ricochets off an empty blue plastic seat and comes to a rest. High-definition broadcast footage and multiple eyewitness accounts from surrounding fans confirm that the immediate area where the ball landed is unoccupied. At this precise moment, our first key player, Drew Feltwell, a father attending the game with his young son, moves in. His actions are not aggressive, they are swift, opportunistic, and ultimately paternal. He cleanly retrieves the ball. Without a moment of hesitation, he immediately turns to his 10-year-old son, Lincoln, and with a proud smile, places the priceless souvenir directly into the boy's waiting baseball glove. For approximately 15 seconds, a state of idyllic normalcy exists. A child has received a cherished memory from his father. Then the timeline is violently and permanently disrupted. A previously unnoticed individual, a woman wearing a Phillies jersey, enters the frame. We will refer to her for the remainder of this investigation as the suspect. Her approach is rapid, aggressive, and deeply confrontational. She does not negotiate. She does not ask. She demands. Broadcast audio clearly and chillingly picks up her four-word declaration, "That's my ball." This is the moment the social crime is officially committed. The suspect's alleged claim to the ball is based on the fact that it landed near empty seats she had designated as belonging to her party. However, her claim is immediately challenged and superseded by the unwritten but universally understood law of the ballpark. A ball in a child's glove is sacred and untouchable. The ensuing standoff lasts for approximately 45 agonizing seconds. Drew Feltwell, the central witness in our case, attempts to de-escalate the situation, calmly explaining that no one was sitting in the seat where the ball landed. The suspect remains insistent, her posture becoming more aggressive. The child, Lincoln, the primary victim, is seen on camera clutching the ball, his initial expression of pure joy dissolving into one of visible confusion and fear. Under extreme duress, and in a clear attempt to avoid further escalation in front of his child, Drew Feltwell makes a critical decision. He retrieves the ball from his son's glove and hands it to the suspect. The suspect snatches the ball and immediately exits the scene. Multiple eyewitnesses, including those who later posted their accounts on social media, claim she smirked and made a defiant gesture towards the now loudly booing crowd. The crime is complete. The evidence, a high-definition, multi-angle, and emotionally devastating video recording, is now loose in the world, about to go viral. Within minutes of the incident being broadcast, the evidence went viral. What followed was an unprecedented, crowdsourced, and global manhunt, the likes of which we see with increasing frequency. The Internet, acting as a single massive and decentralized detective agency, officially opened a case file on Phillies Karen. The objective was singular, clear, and relentlessly pursued to identify, locate, and publicly expose the woman in the Phillies jersey. The investigative techniques employed by this digital mob were a stunning and often frightening display of modern digital forensics. Self-appointed detectives on platforms like Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, created dedicated, rapidly growing threads to pool information and share leads. They began by meticulously analyzing the broadcast footage, creating high-resolution screenshots of the suspect's face from every available angle. Image-enhancing software, once the exclusive domain of intelligence agencies, was used by amateur sleuths to clarify blurry features. Other investigators began the painstaking process of cross-referencing these images with public social media profiles, searching for any woman who had posted about attending the game in Miami that night. Facial recognition, though informal, was effectively being deployed by a global mob with a singular focus. As with any major and chaotic investigation, there were false leads and tragic cases of mistaken identity. At least two innocent women, whose only crime was a passing and unfortunate resemblance to the suspect, were incorrectly identified as Phillies Karen. Their photos, their full names, and their personal information were spread virally across social media, and they were subjected to a torrent of vicious online hate and accusations. Both were forced to issue public statements to clear their names, becoming the unfortunate collateral damage in the Internet's relentless pursuit of its target. This highlighted the inherent and terrifying danger of this new form of justice. There is absolutely no due process, and the margin for error is catastrophic. Every fan in a Phillies jersey became a potential person of interest, and every blurry photo was treated as a crucial clue. The investigation was chaotic, often unethical, and terrifyingly efficient, a digital dragnet that was rapidly and unstoppably closing in on its target. A key part of any criminal investigation is understanding the psychology and motives of the people involved. In the case of Phillies Karen, the Internet collectively and obsessively created detailed psychological profiles for each of the key players based on the limited evidence available. The suspect, Phillies Karen. In the absence of a public statement or confession from her, her motives remain a subject of intense and wild speculation. Was this an act of pure, calculated entitlement? A genuine and unwavering belief that her claim to the empty seats superseded the child's joy? This theory points to a narcissistic personality. Was it a momentary, regrettable lapse in judgment? A heat-of-the-moment decision fueled by the adrenaline of the game and the energy of the crowd that she later regretted? This theory suggests a more ordinary, if flawed, person. Or, as some more conspiratorial threads have suggested, was she a plant, an actor in a deliberately staged event designed to go viral? Her decision to go dark and remain completely silent in the aftermath is a classic tactic of those caught in a public scandal. By refusing to give her side of the story, she has made it impossible to either confirm or deny any of the public's theories, transforming herself from a real person into a blank canvas onto which the Internet can project its worst assumptions about human nature. The witness, Drew Feltwell. The father became the subject of intense psychological analysis. His testimony, given in several calm but clearly strained news interviews, revealed a man under immense and conflicting pressures. His decision to hand over the ball was dissected endlessly. Was it an act of cowardice, as many online critics claimed, or was it a calculated act of paternal protection? His statements reveal a clear and consistent motive: to shield his son from a potentially traumatic and escalating public spectacle with a volatile stranger. He chose de-escalation over confrontation, a decision that, while debated, is a key piece of evidence in understanding the intense high-pressure environment of the incident. The primary victim, Lincoln Feltwell, the 10-year-old boy, in his innocence, delivered the most powerful and damning testimony of all. His single, poignant quote to a news reporter, "We can't win, she was gonna get it anyways," was treated by the public as the emotional centerpiece of the case against the woman. It was a statement that conveyed a heartbreaking and premature sense of powerlessness. In the eyes of the digital jury, these few words were more damning than any high-definition video footage. They solidified his status as the innocent victim and fueled the public's intense desire for justice and perhaps revenge on his behalf. In a traditional legal case, a verdict and a subsequent sentence are delivered by a judge after a lengthy and deliberative trial. In the digital court of the Internet, the entire process is compressed into a matter of hours, and the judgment is absolute. The verdict in the case of Phillies Karen was delivered swiftly, globally, and unanimously. Guilty. Guilty of the high crime of violating a sacred social contract. The sentence was not incarceration or a fine, but a uniquely modern and arguably more terrifying form of public punishment: viral, permanent infamy. She was sentenced to become a meme, her face forever associated with the concepts of entitlement, cruelty, and the Karen archetype. Her punishment is to have her worst moment, a 30-second lapse in judgment, endlessly replayed, analyzed, and mocked by millions of people around the world. It is a digital life sentence from which there is no possibility of parole. In a bizarre twist that could only happen in the modern age, the victims were awarded reparations by external corporate forces. The teams, the CEOs, they all stepped in to deliver what the digital court could not: tangible, material rewards. The team merchandise, the signed Harrison Bader bat, the all-expenses-paid trip to the World Series, and the brand-new RV were, in effect, damages awarded to the Feltwell family for their public pain and suffering. And finally, in the strangest development of all, the suspect herself was offered a form of a plea deal: the trading card company's public offer of $5,000 for the ball, but only in exchange for a written apology, was a public negotiation for a sentence reduction. By accepting the deal, she could perform public remorse, receive a financial reward, and perhaps begin the long, arduous process of rehabilitating her shattered public image. As of our report, she has not accepted this deal. The verdict stands, and the sentence of public shaming continues to be served every single time the video is played. The official case file on Phillies Karen is, for now, closed. The incident has been permanently archived in the vast, unforgiving library of Internet lore, but the powerful and deeply unsettling precedent it set will linger for years to come. This saga represents a new and powerful form of crowdsourced justice, one that operates entirely outside the carefully constructed bounds of our traditional legal and ethical frameworks. It is a system that has proven capable of identifying and punishing social transgressions with a speed and efficiency that is truly breathtaking. But it is also a system with no due process, no presumption of innocence, and a terrifyingly high capacity for devastating collateral damage. It is a system fueled by pure, unadulterated outrage, where crucial context is deemed irrelevant and the loudest, most aggressive voices often win the day. The hunt for the woman in the Phillies jersey proved that the Internet can be a powerful tool for holding people accountable for their public actions and enforcing unspoken social norms. But it also proved with chilling clarity that it can be a dangerous and uncontrollable mob. This case is a landmark event in the history of the Internet, a story that forces us to ask a critical question. As we become more and more connected, are we witnessing the birth of a new, more democratic form of communal justice? Or are we simply sharpening our digital pitchforks for the next ordinary person who has the profound misfortune of having their single worst moment go viral?